now we're continuing with our study, and we're going on to lesson 24, which is on Carthage. Can you hear the waves like hitting in the back? I hope you can hear this video pretty well, but I'm kind of like whispering a little bit here because in the next room I have somebody sleeping, but but anyway. So, we're talking about Carthage, and Carthage was a leading city of commerce. But you know what happened? The whole thing, there's a poem called Aeneid, and it's about the history of Carthage. You see, the people of Carthage settled because of the Phoenicians. Remember I told you the Phoenicians, and they were seafaring people, and they were from Tyre and Sidon, and they came in and they settled. And look on your map, it's quite a ways away there. It's in northern Africa there, and you'll see it's Carthage. And so the story is kind of a weird little story, because you have this Princess Dido from Tyre, and she fled because her brother wanted the kingdom and didn't want to have anything to do with her. And so she was afeared for her life. And so she decided to get her own ship, and she sailed over there, and she settled in Carthage. And she started this great town, this great city, right on the tip of Africa. Very unique spot, but a perfect spot for trade. And so suddenly, for trading and merchants and people bringing things in and exporting things and everything, it became full of people from all different places around the whole Mediterranean Sea and beyond. So this princess, so this is what they say, it's kind of, they said, is this legend or true? But they believe this princess actually started the city of Carthage. So, from the Bible we see that Tyre was destroyed. We don't see Carthage being destroyed. In fact, later on we see Carthage, battling the Romans, so we see for sure, and they battled the Romans on riding on elephants. Can you imagine that? So what an amazing thing. So, but here, this was an easy route, and everyone had to go on this route, from Africa and all over to go when they brought things in to export from Africa. So as they brought things in, they would have all kinds of unique things to share there. The sad thing about Carthage too, it was a very pagan area, and they ended up worshiping different gods and all these things, and so there was a fall time for them too. But as you see in the Bible, they had the merchants, and I hope you got to play the Carthaginian merchant game. And we were trading all kinds of things, weren't we? We were trading things in the game, like Monopoly or something. But just think, they really traded all those different goods, and they really, brought these ships in, and it became a major place. Wouldn't you like to be there? Maybe I would, but I surely would want to be there to tell them about Jesus. But Jesus wasn't born yet then, of course. But to tell them to go and repent and turn towards the true and living God. And they probably heard about Israel, because they had heard all the different countries all around that whole area. So remember, Carthage, that was the Phoenician city in the Bible. Powerful city, dominant in trade. In fact, they had their own alphabet. But one thing they had that was really bad is that they did trade something, and that was not a good idea. God would just frown on the slaves. They had a major place there that they would buy and sell people as slaves. Oh, how sad is that? But that's why God brought down times where Tyre and Sidon and even Carthage would be judged as a city. But anyway, as we go from there, I kind of want to stop there, because you guys know I kind of told the story before to you about Carthage, and just remember northern Africa. And during this time, if you go there now, it's a different place, but it is kind of centered in a Muslim nation, and so, but it's northern Africa. And now let's talk about it. You know, it's pretty wonderful that God, gave us the seas. And some days the storms come in and the fogs come in and you can't see. And then other days in the morning it's bright and shiny and those beautiful beaches. As you walk along the beaches, it's just breath of fresh air and that whole thing. And then the storms. You can imagine. Can you imagine being on those seas in these storms? Yeah, even today. Can you hear? You can't see anymore because the fog really came in. It looks like the storm's coming. And they have these hurricanes that come in and all these things. And even in Mediterranean Sea, and even on the smaller seas, they had huge storms. But these guys were some tough people with all of the oarsmen. They didn't have the kind of boats we have now with motors. But yet, they were magnificent to see. Maybe someday you'll be able to go out in a big boat, be able to see the ocean and the seas, and smelling the fresh air, the fresh salt air. So, same salt air, same smell that they probably smelled a few thousand years ago. So let's go on. End of your unit here. I'm so glad I get to sit here and tell you the story. Let us worship the true and living God. And even when the blessings of God comes and we are able to, be involved in exporting and business and everything, let us focus on God and give Him the glory and the honor and the praise in everything we do. Don't you think?